Hi, welcome to question 8 of the 2024 Junior Cert Higher Level paper. So as always, if you want to copy the notes I'm working off, just send an email to shanetroy@gmail.com. Like and subscribe to get access to more playlists. So question 8 is a short enough one about graphing and functions. We'll read through it. The graph below shows the function g of x for minus to the domain minus 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3. So g of x now, just before we even get stuck into it, I prefer to write functions like that. G of x is not two separate things. They're one concept and they can be correlated or thought of as y. So the y-axis they label here, you could call that the g of x axis. Okay, it just would sound weird to say it. Now the domain is just saying what x values, and you're saying from minus 2 as far as 3, and you see on the graph here, they've illustrated minus 2 as far as 3. The last thing there, x and element of r, is really just like to a certain extent covering themselves. X can be every number, so it's a continuous line, not just dots. Okay. It says use this graph to answer the following questions. So let me get rid of some of that writing. Part A says write down the value of g of 3. Now, g of 3 can be related to g of x. And if you see the correlation there, x is 3. So when x is 3, what's the value of, and I said it a minute ago, and I'll write it back over here, g of x is equal to y. So when x is 3, what's the value of y? So if you find where x is 3 and mark it, now that should get an attempt, okay, if it's obvious, and you bring the line up, where it hits the graph, okay, you bring it across, and what's the y value at that point? It's 2. So when x is 3, the value of y is 2. That's it. Now, in saying that's it, functions are notoriously hard conceptually, but they have value, especially when you talk about maths in certain ways. Okay. Now, part B says write down the value of x for which g of x is equal to 1. So if you remember, we said already, g of x is equal to y, and they're saying it's equal to 1. So what's the value of x when y is 1? Okay. Now, if I find where y is 1 and draw a line across there, where does that interact with the graph? What's the x value? The x value is minus 1. Okay, the last part here, part C, says draw the graph of the function y is equal to g of x take away 2. So draw y is equal to, now our graph, take 2 away from it. So you can take this very directly. And if you go, well, what's 2 below this point? Okay, would be down here. Now, if you keep tracking 2 below, you can drop 2 directly down on most of them. Now, this one you'd have to guess. But if we drop 2 down here, they should map up. And that's your graph. Now, use a ruler or whatever. That's basically it. Now, you could work out, I've seen, I suppose, different strategies, but that seems to me to be the very direct thing. And remember, all a function is relating the x value to the y value. Okay, now it changes based on like what the function says. The function turns x into y, or the input x gets transformed into the output g of x. So we're saying the same thing over and over again, using different dialects, just different ways of approaching how to think about maths. And they have advantages and disadvantages. Not a huge fan of functions, but as long as you always remember that like g of x or f of x, just they mean y. That always seems to help me. And then that within the function, the x here is not part of it. Like that looks like g times 3. It's not. It should better be written as g subscript 3. So the 3 is just descriptive for the function. Anyway, I'll stop. So that's question 8. Okay, so as always, if you want to copy the notes I'm working off, just send me an email at shanetroy@gmail.com. Like and subscribe to get access to more playlists, and see you on question 9.